Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be looking at the new Nemurelia deck. Nemurelia, a new archetype coming in from Syac, supports a lot of pendulum strategies, but the first one, and probably the only one that I would consider viable enough to talk about, is going to be Unchained Metalfoes. Now, adding the Nemurelia engine into Unchained Metalfoes does kind of hurt their ability to go into the fusion monsters. Of course, Orichalc is a lot more situational now that we're only on one fusion, and that the Dreaming Tower locks us out of making extra deck monsters. But I still think that this is one of the better, that this is a engine that is overall beneficial to the deck. Let's talk about it. So for Metalfoes cards, we're playing 3 silver, 3 steal-in, 1 vanisher, 3 Melcaster, and 3 Bismugear. Um, these cards are just like probably the best out of like the Metalfoes cards we have access to. We're only on 1 vanisher to cut it to 40 cards. Same reason we're only on 1 fusion and 2 counters. But just cutting it for space is unfortunately pretty. The second vanisher for space is unfortunate, but it is pretty necessary. The Vanisher, the main reason we're playing this engine is one, because it destroys cards on the field, so it helps with the Unchained stuff. And two, it searches out counter, which is a disruption because when it summons Vanisher, you can target a card on the field and banish it, or in the graveyard. When this card is in your hand, you can target 2 face-up cards you control, including Metalfoes, pop them, and then special summon this from hand. So it's also decent if you draw it, although you prefer not to because you want it in deck for a counter. And pretty much all of the Metalfoes cards search it. Silvered, Steelin, Melcaster, and Bismugear all search the counter. It's just a decent way to be a pendulum. One, it's a pendulum deck for the Nemurelias, and two, it searches a disruption from deck, which is important. For the Nemurelia stuff, we are playing 2 Aurelier, 2 Coat, 3 Sleeping Beauty Tower of Nemurelia, and 3 Sweet Dreams Nemurelia. Sweet Dreams and Sleeping Tower both search the defenders in their own way. Nemurelia just adds 1 Nemurelia monster from deck to hand, so one of the defenders. And Beauty Tower locks you out of the extra deck and searches 2, so it just searches both of them. This locks you out after you actually do everything, so you are able to use the fusion spell if you need to. However, I think that overall the Nemurelia engine is good. What it actually does is it allows you to get access to Coat and Aurelier, which are 2 beat sticks. Essentially, you banish 2 cards from your extra deck and then summon them for free. There are 2. Coat is 2,000 and Aurelier is 2,500, and they're just convenient to have to really speed up the pace that this deck kills. I think this is going to end up either this or Super Heavy Samurai are going to end up being the best decks out of Syac. So I'm really curious to how this engine benefits Unchained Metalfoes. Next up on the Unchained stuff, we're on 3 Aruha, 2 Sarama, and 2 Rikea, along with the Double Escape and Double Chamber. I think these cards are very, very strong. I think that the synergy between the Metalfoes being able to pop the Unchained Twins to get exactly what you want is pretty important. And I think the Quake Effect Destruction um, helps counter actually work that you get off Rikea, makes counter function a lot better. I also think that just them themselves being a way for you can pretty much always survive when you have these cards, which is important. After that, just on generic stuff, we are only playing 1 generic card, and that is the Triple Pot of Extravagance. This is the only card we haven't talked about yet, and it's Pot of Extravagance. You banish 3, or you banish 6, and then you draw 2. With Pot of Greed in this deck, it's a little inconvenient when you banish the Orichalcs, but, it's usually okay. It doesn't come up very often. Um, After that, on the extra deck, we're playing Triple Orichalc. This is the only extra deck monster you really care about. It has double piercing, so it helps you uh, OTK sometimes, and it is our descent from the field to grave. You can target a card on the field and destroy it. Occasionally, that's disruption, I guess. I'm gonna be real. I'm not super concerned about this card's being good for disruption purposes. We don't have the quick fusion, So I'm not ultra concerned about that, but it is good for OTKs. Triple Azortless. The only reason we're playing three of this is because we're on Xtrav, and it's fine. It's like good enough to play three. I prefer kind of it's we don't really make this very often. It's when it's special summon from the extra, you can pop a card in your opponent's field. I believe that's what it does. Let me just move that over here. Perfect. You can target a face of card you control, shuffle two pendulum monsters from extra deck into the deck, destroy that card. Yeah, so it's technically quick effect disruption. Not really though, because you would need this and like yeah, it's actually just not quick effect disruption. It like is almost a board breaker, but not really. Azortless is kind of bad, but we are playing it just for extra fusion stuff that we can do with the Metalfoes. It comes up in some situations where you need to break a board quickly. Triple bore load, good just as a rank 4 or a link 4 rather. You can make it anytime you can make it pretty often, and it's the best link 4 in the common charity. So you want to play it. Triple Codebreaker Virus Swordsman, it's just a good rank 2. And triple Heavy Metalfoes Amalgam. It's again not great, but it will help with OTKs sometimes. So it's interesting occasionally. All right, that's going to be the end of the video. The side deck doesn't really matter in this case because uh, it does matter. I'll go over the side deck. Who cares? One Pank for going second. Shifter for decks that care about Shifter. Raigeki for going second. Same with Harpy's Feather Duster just for going second. Points are for decks that need one specific card in their hand. Something like, let's say, Lunalight searching Wolf. You can banish out Wolf, and then they have a hard time going into the Tiger Dancer or Luna Dancer. Yeah, that's the one. Triple Crush Card Virus. Just you can banish the Codebreaker Virus Swordsman whenever you make that and beat like some of the sprite variants. And then Dimensional Barrier for Predator Flint. That's gonna be the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.